and welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. This is the Beebs,
This is the Keb.
and we're firing away today. Working through some technical difficulties right now, but we are here and recording. I wasn't sure it was going to happen, but it's happening.
I think we're live too.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, like that. And we're only we weren't too late. You know,
I think we're like 30 seconds late, right?
I give so much shit for people being late that when I'm late, I mean, people are just like, I can't fucking wait for him to be late.
Right.
Just one fucking time.
You're never late. I don't think I've ever seen you
Very,
late.
very rarely am I late.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm glad you're not. If that makes you feel better.
We do have a compadre this week. We'll let him put his ears in.
I'm glad we do have our compadre here.
Yeah, we're gonna add him in. And
Nice,
fellas. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
I noticed. I apologize for my tardiness, but my internet decided to say, "Hey, I don't want to be here." So I'm like, "Oh, great!" But that's why if you're not early or late, and I apologize because regardless of the situation, I was late. But I noticed last week I was really quiet compared to you guys on the microphone, and I was wondering if it's any better this week. I don't know if there's a way for you to check your levels, but
I can hear you fine.
I hear you loud and clear too.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just, I don't know, a glitch.
I don't know. Somebody told me that same thing today. Actually, he was listening to last week's show and wanted to know, since he lives 10 minutes from me, why he didn't lose power and I did. And I had to explain to him that I live in the fucking forest, fucking moron. Hope you're listening now. And if somebody sneezes fucking hard over here, it power goes out. But he said that you sounded pretty quiet too, and I was like, you sounded fine to me.
well, I turned up the mic in the what is StreamYard. I turned up the microphone on the settings here, so we'll see if it ends up being any better.
I'll bet you it does.
And if not, hey, it is what it is.
Sure.
Jive turkey.
Hey, did you guys watch any golf this week?
I didn't, but I know some crazy stuff happened.
I watched. I'm like with golf how you are with baseball, Kev. If it's on, I'm probably watching.
So you caught the Rocket Mortgage?
I caught some of it, and I definitely caught the highlights.
Okay. Did you catch anybody else talking about golf this week?
Well, there was a lot of people talking about golf this week. Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
What in the fuck is Beebs doing?
I think he's covering the camera.
Okay.
There might have been, some naked belly dancers in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No.
What was her name? Martika or something?
Oh yeah.
We haven't had a Martika sighting in a long time.
That's St. Joe's girlfriend.
Yes, it is.
For those of you tuning in tonight to hopefully see St. Joe, he is currently in Spain.
Yeah, he sent me pictures. That was nice of him.
But what are you referring to, Kev, with the golf in regards to who was chatting or talking?
Well, last week, I'm a lover of all sports now. I have indoctrinated myself into the hockey.
Okay.
I've indoctrinated myself into watching
Panthers.
Hell yeah. Bandwagon Panther fan right here.
Good for them.
And have indoctrinated myself. My son is hogging the TV watching the soccer for this something that starts with a C. I don't know. We watched Jamaica play somebody.
Copa America.
That whatever. But my son, who is 16 years old, asked me to tune in to something last Thursday night, and these dumb motherfuckers did this.
After a disastrous debate, it's clear this race isn't about choosing red or blue. It's about the green!
He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
Woohoo! These two are getting catty.
The debate was something. It was already a train wreck at that.
So these two motherfuckers are arguing about golf. And I'm not political. However, these two motherfuckers are arguing about golf. Who can hit the ball further? All that's said. We're a sports show. They were talking about sports. There you go.
Well, since you brought it up, Joe
Sure.
Biden's a 6 handicap apparently. That's what he said.
Jay, what handicap are you?
I'm right there with Biden.
Right?
I'm almost as good as him.
Do you think you could take Biden?
In golf,
Yeah.
I think I could take him in the presidential race. But yes, I could take him in golf.
I mean, just to make it fair, you would be like, hey, we're going to walk today.
I would beat him and Trumpy if they were paired together in a scramble. I would beat them.
Okay. Yeah, but Trump's won 2 club championships.
Sure.
So, did you guys see the tweet from Bryson DeChambeau?
Yes.
He said, "Hey, we'll host it on my YouTube channel. You guys can come, you guys can come be on my YouTube channel, and we'll film it, and you all can golf against each other and see who wins." And apparently, both accepted. So, sometime in August, we'll see if-
Supposedly.
assuming someone doesn't die of old age before then,
which could be either of them.
at any moment in
Correct.
time.
Could be
So-
either of them. Anyhow, I just thought that was funny. I mean, it was for the week. It was my what the fuck am I watching moment.
Did someone make you watch that?
My son wanted to watch it because he's into writing jokes and he thought he could get good material.
Oh,
You
there
know,
was plenty of material to be had.
Yeah, he did. He did write a pretty funny joke. He said that, some people think that one of these guys. These are the two people that we have to choose from, and some of the people think that one of them should be in jail, and some people think that the other one should be in hospice.
That's not bad.
You
Not
know,
too bad.
it's, for a 16-year-old, it's pretty good.
Okay, by the way, that is an incredible shirt.
You like this shirt?
I do.
You know?
Yeah, we are. We are celebrating 4th of July.
That's right.
Yeah. I remember once upon a time on another podcast, Jay told me that I have an outfit for every holiday.
Correct.
Yeah, and so I got to keep that up. Yeah,
You even got the hat to match.
Yeah,
It's
man, the red, white,
magical.
and barbecue.
You never disappoint with
You
the
know.
outfits.
Hey, did you go to? Were you in Atlanta over the weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be in Atlanta this weekend.
Oh,
I'm leaving tomorrow for Atlanta, and I'll be there until next Monday.
look
I'm
out,
coming-
Atlanta.
Yeah. 5 games in 5 days.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna
Yeah.
be cool.
Look, the beer dispensary there had better watch out.
Yeah, I told somebody today who I was on a teleconference with who lives in Atlanta. He's like, well, maybe I'll see you at the game on Thursday. And I was like, yeah, I'll be the one drinking beer.
Won't be hard to find.
Once upon a time, I was in Atlanta, and I may or may not have recorded something for the old Two Penny podcast and sent it in there. And I was less than, how shall I say, I was enjoying the adult beverages. I'll put it that way.
Might have had a few barley pops that evening.
Yeah. They call them Los Bravos.
Los
Really,
Bravos.
to give
They
them
were
they were flowing.
they were in full effect.
And I'm looking forward to it to about this time tomorrow be fully engulfed.
Fully vested.
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
They're playing tomorrow and Thursday playing the San Francisco Giants, and starting Friday the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh boy.
I am able to admit that I don't follow all sports as closely as others, and I do not claim to be a. I would fall flat if it came to having to discuss all sports, like you guys do every week. But I did notice. I saw an article. You can tell me if I'm wrong or right, Keb, but I saw an article saying that the Mets who are, the bane of most people's existence in baseball, have actually been playing well lately. Is there truth to that?
I think they've won 15 out of their last 20.
Yeah, something wild that they haven't done in, a dozen years or something.
Yeah, they're playing well. They're getting they're starting pitching back, but they're starting to hit the ball. They came out pretty flat out of spring training. But there are also, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay anything the Mets are doing. Everybody that listens to me for 5 minutes knows I hate the fucking Mets. But they are in the easy part of their schedule.
Okay.
So they're playing majority of teams that they're playing right now are sub 500. They just played the Astros, who are under 500, and
Essentially, they are who we thought they are, or were. Is that what you're saying?
I think it'll even out. I mean, I think they're 12 games back out of first now, something like that.
Yeah, I think the article that I saw was some sports heads talking how normally this time of year the Mets are selling off players and they're trying to acquire some for the first time in a long time. I did see a former Brave this week discussing a topic that I would love to hear your thoughts on, if you don't mind indulging me.
Sure.
Tom Glavine was discussing the designated hitter and how that position or how that place has damaged or not damaged the game of baseball, and what your thoughts are on as far as the National League adopting the DH.
From a scoring standpoint, I like it, because I mean the pitcher traditionally wasn't out.
Yep.
Yeah, so from a scoring standpoint, I like it. However, my core belief on, I'm a traditionalist, so I like the pitcher hitting, because I think that if you can throw at somebody, somebody should be able to throw at you.
Okay.
And just for that simple thing. But also, it took a lot of strategy out of the game. Pitchers were very good bunters, so you don't see a whole lot of suicide or safety squeezes anymore.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of run manufacturing, but that's not what sells tickets. Core, old school baseball fans, what I would call Pete Rose baseball fans, don't like, what they call small ball. They want, hit the ball long, hit the ball far, pitchers that throw over 100 miles an hour. I mean, Greg Maddux barely threw 93, 94.
Yeah.
And he's considered one of the best pitchers ever. But then again, on the same fashion, Randy Johnson threw 100 miles an hour. And Nolan Ryan as well. So
Clemens, there's a lot of guys that had some heat.
Sure, you had power pitchers, but with the designated hitter, I mean, there were a lot of good hitting pitchers. Tom Glavine being one of them.
Correct.
And that kind of takes away, because it wasn't so much of an easy out. But I do like the bunting and the strategy of it, stealing bases, things like that, which you see, but just not as often. I mean, there was a stat out there that the Houston Astros had gone almost a year and a half without a sacrifice bunt.
Wow.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, well, I think that one of the good aspects that they were discussing in their conversation was how DHs, if you're like a real DH, there are players that are, I mean, that's their game. They've passed the years of where they're playing on the field as much, but they are a DH. And now across both leagues, or they are able to, those players can now intertwine through both leagues. It's not like, well, that DH, I mean, he's got limited trade possibilities, limited, abilities for him to go to other teams. So I don't know, there's some things, but I don't know enough to know how it is. I think the offense will be great.
I think a lot of it too opens up jobs, like to your point, opens up jobs for people who are also great hitters but a liability in the field.
There you go.
Like the Braves DH, Marcell Ozuna, he's not past his prime. I mean, the dude's not going to cover off the ball, but you put him in left field, and he's good for at least a drop at night. At least he's a liability in the field. You can't play him. Also, 2021 World Series World Series MVP, Jorge Soler, who now plays for the San Francisco Giants. He's horrible in the outfield, but the dude can hit the ball a country mile, so they DH him. Yeah, they did it in
Shout
Miami.
out.
Yeah, so you have a lot of those people, and lest we forget the last 3 years of his career, Babe Ruth DH'd because he could barely run to first base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also the last of my baseball questions or thoughts this week would be shout out Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla Day was just recently had $1.6 million paid to the boy again. So hey,
He's still earning, man.
good on
He
him.
still is. Smart man.
You know that original contract was $5.9 million
Yeah.
and deferred with interest until 2035. He's going to make like $28 million off of that contract.
Smart move, whether it was his manager or himself or a financial analyst or somebody that told him do this. Good on him.
Dude, that's like investing in the stock market.
Sure.
I mean, that's better. I mean, it's like a guaranteed, wow,
And
triple,
Beebs,
quadruple your income.
I didn't forget you, Beeps, as far as questions that I wanted your input on because I know nothing about this.
Okay.
2 things. Congratulations to Brazil. They won the ability to host the 2027 Women's World Cup in soccer,
Okay.
which is great because Brazil's got. I will watch those chicks do anything. Also, I don't know how to say the man's name, but there was a global farewell for the football icon. What is his name? Sunny, Ketri. This week, is that how you say it?
Sunni kid. I'm going to guess it's Sunny, but how do you spell his last name?
Chhetri.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh well, they did. That's how uneducated you are with soccer. Sorry.
What country is he from?
India.
That's why.
Yeah, whatever.
Who did he play for? Other than India, of course. But India hasn't been to a World Cup ever.
Wait a second. Let me play the part of St. Joe here. Wait, I thought you said that that soccer was a world sport.
Well,
It is a world sport. India hasn't been to the World Cup ever in its history.
So if it's a world sport and you're a soccer fan, then you should know everybody's name.
No, that's probably true. He must have been good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be giving him a farewell. I just don't know who he is.
Oh, I love you, St. Joe.
hey, and then my last part, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the evening.
No, we require you to talk.
No, I really will. This is about the allotted amount of time I am allowed every week to talk on a microphone. What is each of yours favorite sports memory? And the reason being I'm asking is I saw a poll on some of the best sports memories that people relayed into a poll.
Man, I am glad you brought this up because I thought about this today. I watched it live. Keb, you're going to remember this moment too. I guarantee it because you're into swimming.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 2012, but that 4x100 meter relay where Jason Lesac reels that French guy in from like 5 meters from the wall. Somehow they win by like a tenth of a second.
Right.
That was the greatest swimming sporting event I have ever seen. It only lasts for 3 or 4 minutes, but my God, that was so exciting to watch. I mean, I remember when it happened, I like cried. Like that's how intense it was. Like everything was on the line. It was like Michael Phelps' last race. He's trying to break some gold medal record, and we think they're all going to lose because France has all these great swimmers. And the fastest guy they have on their team is their final leg. And somehow Jason Lesac reels him in the last 5 meters of the race. Don't know how he did it. Don't know how it happened. Watched it. I've watched the replay 10, 15 times, and I still don't know how it happened. But my goodness, it was the greatest thing I have watched in sports, maybe ever. But as far as getting the feels and the goosebumps and like the emotions, that was the one I remember the most.
Nice.
I think everybody that's listening right now thinks that 2021 World Series champion Atlanta Braves is going to come out of my mouth. It's not. It's not. But the greatest sports moment that I have ever witnessed, I wasn't there in person, but I witnessed on TV, was in 1992. And it was the National League Championship Series, the Atlanta Braves versus the Pittsburgh Pirates, Game 7. Bottom of the ninth, the Braves are down 3-0. Get two guys on. Terry Pendleton hits a double, knocks those two guys in. We're at 3-2. Somebody hits a sac fly. Had a runner on third. Terry Pendleton gets third. Hits another sac fly. Now we're 2 outs, but now we're tied 3-3. And then Blauser comes up, hits a double. And Sid Bream comes up, hits a double, and we got Sid Bream on second. And a guy named Francisco Cabrera comes up, pinch hitter, and hits a pretty good line drive single. And they put him in there because he was like 10 for 10 against the Pirates pitcher. And they put him in there, hits a line drive single to left field. Slow-ass Sid Bream, I will never forget this picture of him trucking around third base, being waved home, and barely beats the tag. A lot of people thought he was out. Barely beats the tag. This is before replay, and he is safe. Braves win 4-3 and go to the World Series to eventually lose to the Toronto Blue Jays.
So I will say there's my runner-up. There's a runner-up moment from baseball, but it's not really a moment because it lasted 3 games. It was the Red Sox in 2004 coming and beating the Yankees, being 3-0 down, coming back and beating them. So that obviously was a 3-game stretch, but there was a couple games there where they're in the extra innings and someone gets a big hit and they score and win the game when they shouldn't be winning the game. But yes, that's a close runner-up, I would say, lifetime.
I'll tell you my runner-up. In 2008, I went to the Orange Bowl in Miami, and the Gators were playing. Who were they playing? Oh, jeez. They were playing the Oklahoma Sooners, Gators defense a little tad bit much for
Old Sam Bradford, right?
Old Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
Gators defense a little too much for them. But on a serious note, my runner-up would be 1997 Florida State game. Florida State comes in there ranked number 1. They're double-digit favorites over the number 7 ranked Gators. And about halfway through the third quarter, they punt away the football to a guy named Ike Hilliard, and he runs it back 92 yards, and I've never heard a stadium louder. Than that. Like we were saying last week, you used to be able to leave at halftime at Florida Field and booze up, and then come back. And that was middle of the third quarter. And Gators never looked back. And that was like the third year in a row. Florida State was number 1 when they played us, and then we beat them. So there's nothing like beating your rival, especially when they're ranked number 1 in the country. And now I'm defending the same Florida State Seminoles for not being in the national championship. So what a guy I am.
It's
Jay, do you have a moment?
Sure. I would have to say that most people would probably be able to guess mine, and mine would be in 2019 when Tiger won the Masters. And I say that, I know a lot of people have this somewhat a little bit of, some people are, it's either you're a hater of Tiger or you love the guy. As far as on his personal life, I don't know the guy. I only hear what they've put out in the tabloids and what he's admitted to on camera, which he's not extremely forthcoming, as most people know, but he's discussed it enough to where I think on the personal level, I think he's made mistakes, and I hope that he's seen those mistakes and maybe he's bettered himself as a person. But as just a pure sports thing, for him to do what he did in the shape that his body really is in, and the way that he did it and just the energy of that. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. I was watching it on TV, but I cannot remember the last time anything on TV made me I could not turn away. Like, I mean, I had to watch it. And then I watched the replay and I watched the replay again. And if I see it on TV anytime around April, when they do the replays of golf's greatest, victories and stuff, it's one of the few times in sports that I think I actually might have had some like not tears, but like happy, like emotions, like, oh my God, I'm just so happy for them. I mean, I felt that with the Broncos when they won their Super Bowls, but it wasn't like this. And I guess it's because as somebody that plays golf and has always wished and hoped to be able to have the kind of skills that these guys on those tours do, it just takes so much to put 4 days together to be in that position. And yeah, he's been there before and he's got all the history on his side and he's one of the best players to ever do it. But still, it was just one that would be my favorite memory that I have in sports. I mean, there's always the big, and that's one that I was able to witness via TV, of course, but I mean, there's a lot bigger moments that people talk about. I mean, the Miracle on Ice and Jesse Owens in the Olympics, pretty much defeating the whole world. Jackie Robinson integrating baseball. And I know that we lost a baseball player last week, Willie Mays. And he was a game changer. And he was definitely a needle back then as far as moving the scale in baseball. And so there's a lot of things. Jackie Robinson, Serena Williams. I mean, Babe Ruth called shot in baseball. How epic was that? Obviously, none of us were around for that. But, the dream team in basketball, I remember that being cool. There's a lot of stuff. And by the way, I think it's bullshit that Caitlin Clark is not on the U.S. Olympic team.
She'll still try. I mean, she's been playing pretty good this last week or last 2 weeks since they didn't announce her. She's gone off. She's playing really well right now. But there was another. You brought up Tiger Woods. The 2019 Masters was a big deal. My other favorite moment from him was when he won his first Masters.
Oh yeah,
I watched that
1997.
Yeah, I followed him.
Was it 97? I think it was. Yeah, it was.
Yes, 97. And I followed him from when he first started to until now. I've been a fan even after all the crap went down. Just watching a guy play like that is just something to behold, and then be able to come back. But the other one that everybody, I don't know if everybody forgets it. I'm sure not everybody forgets it, but the one where he makes that chip shot on 16, where he runs it up the hill and brings it back and puts it in. That was insane.
That was great for everybody.
Yeah.
I tell you, we could probably have an entire podcast on greatest Tiger moments.
Sure.
But I'll tell you one that impressed me is because of an injury was I believe it was the 2008 U.S. Open where he had to play a 18-hole playoff against Rocco Mediate.
With one leg.
Yeah, basically with one leg.
The other knee was gone, right?
Taking painkillers, know. And I thought that was just, impressive of, how dominant he was 2000, 2001. In there and everybody at that time were like, he's tapering off, whatever, and he came out and basically beat, the best golfers in the world hurt. He was not 100%.
He came out this week and he said that his game is in the best place it's been in the last 3 years since his last accident and surgery and everything. And he thinks that he actually, I don't believe this, but he says he believes, and that's great that he does, that he has an actual shot at the Open this year. And then I started to listen to a few different podcasts and shows and Golf Central in regards to the course, which is being played at Troon this year.
Is it Royal Troon?
Yeah, it is. They're all Royal.
I guess, yeah.
But yes, playing at Troon. And that course is so pinpoint accuracy needed to play around with those bunkers that they ran the stats on Tiger, and when it comes to fairways and off the tee, he's still, in his limited amount of starts, is in the tops of the field. The places that get him are the greens. His putting has not been great, and I think that because of the slower greens that they have over in Europe,
Might help him.
will benefit him because it's going to be more along what he probably plays at home at their country club. They're kind of an elitist course there, but yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. It's I hope him. I would love to see him make a run, but I don't have a lot of faith in that. I think Bryson DeChambeau is going to win it.
Do you think normally when golfers turn 50 and they go to the Champions Tour, the ones that just transition over to Champions Tour, they typically tend to clean up. You know,
True.
they're
Yeah.
the new people. You think that's going to be the same thing with him? Like he's going to look at that as like another notch to his career. Hey, not only do I need to win all these majors, but I need to go over here to the Champions Tour and be the best over here.
Me personally, I think that he's going to. He originally he first said, everybody was like, you'll never see Tiger on the Champions Tour. However, he is, in the last several years, has said that he's going to, at least in, I think he'll play the majors. And they have 4. Actually, I think they have 5. It's either the ladies have 5 or maybe it's the ladies have 5. But anyway, the fact that he can be in a cart and not have to experience the kind of fatigue that he has right now. If you notice in all the tournaments that he plays, if you watch him, he usually starts off quite well. He's, he was in the top 10 the first day of the Masters. He was in the top 10 the first day on the U.S. Open. I mean, or the PGA, I'm sorry. He is able to, I think what happens is, as he gets to walking on these courses, and he just doesn't have the legs. And, some of the things, I think it'll help him. I think he will. I absolutely 100% think he'll come out and compete. Yeah, like you said, all the guys, just come out. Richard Bland, who just won this last weekend, it was a major, the U.S. Open for seniors, I think, the Senior U.S. Open. He's a live golfer now, but, he's 51 years old. I don't know how he got into that field because Phil Mickelson wasn't playing in it, and he's a senior as well, according to Golf Age. But
Right.
I think he'll play, and I think he'll do well. I mean, it's so dependent upon what his body's like. I mean, he's so invested in his son, Charlie, which is great. That could also curb a little bit of his enthusiasm to play.
Yeah, definitely. If you're Charlie Woods, it's nice to have your dad helping out there, right?
Well, that's a really good transition of people who are really fucking lucky to have their dad around. Okay,
Bronny James.
yeah, yeah.
Nepotism.
How do we feel about him being drafted by the Lakers?
Now, did I send you a link, Keb, that came out from the Stephen? From
Yeah,
the Stephen A. Smith
Stephen
show?
A. Smith. Yeah,
The guy on that show is like, okay, we're looking at Bronny James. He went to USC, which is
not necessarily a basketball school.
they're mid in basketball, totally mid. I mean, like they're nothing. You know what I mean? And the best, he was drafted higher than the best player on USC, right? So also the 4th starter, let's see, what did he say? The 4th string shooting guard for UConn averaged more. His stats were higher, like points, assists, rebounds, than Bronny James, and he went undrafted, right? Yet Bronny James gets picked, 55th or 56th in the draft by the LA Lakers. Why are the LA Lakers, I mean, what are they doing? I mean, obviously there's a money ploy there, of course, but if you're going to, I mean, you can't, how can you stand up for that decision? How can you try and make any other?
I can give you a lot of reasons why they stand up for that decision.
I mean, well, they got LeBron to stay. He's in a
Big deal.
contract year. Yeah,
He's-
that's it.
But even at LeBron's advanced age, LaFlop, as I like to call him, he still is averaging 26, 8, and 11. I mean, the guy is still a machine. Okay, on the basketball court, nobody can take that away from him. I do realize one of the greatest basketball players to ever play. Also, one of the best floppers that's not in soccer. I mean, this guy is a legend. I think that when it comes to history, teams like the Celtics, teams like the Lakers, they believe, and they even said it, they believe they should be on that front page of history when it comes to certain things. And this being a first time in history event, they're going to do it. It's only going to, I mean, unless Bronny comes in, and he could develop. I mean, let's not forget Michael Jordan was cut by his high school basketball team. People can develop. He's had a lot of pressure. He's had a lot of elitist type things go on in his life. But when it comes down to in the NBA, it's a business. And they're making the right business move right now. But when he gets to playing, if he can't hold weight, they're not going to have him out there just to put him on the court with his dad. Will he play? Absolutely. And at first, he's going to play quite a bit. But it is a marketing and media thing. But you got to remember, professional sports is a business. It's not about love of the game. It's about what can we present to the fans to get them to tune in, to buy season tickets, to buy our merchandise. And that's exactly what they did. And I think the Lakers, I don't like it, but the Lakers hit a home run doing it. And it's not like it's the first time that fathers have taken care of their sons and made sure it happened for them. I mean, look at Jerry Jones and his son and how that the Dallas Cowboys are set up. I mean, there's a ton of that in the NFL. I mean, Shanahan and his son. There's Rex Reed, or what was his name?
Rex Ryan.
The Ryan boys and their dad.
The
you
Harbaughs.
know. Yeah, I mean, it goes on. And I don't think it's, the truth is, most players outside the first round, they make the team, but they don't ever see the court. They don't see play. It's not a big deal to them. Who cares? When you're picking that late in the draft, these guys aren't game changers. So you're picking somebody that's going to help you in practice and somebody that's going to do this. And the other thing, it's going to motivate LeBron. What else would make LeBron want to win a championship more than be able to say he put a ring on with his son? I'm telling you, watch out. LeBron's going to have a huge year if he stays healthy. I really believe it. And I'm not a fan.
Yeah, the Lakers hope he plays defense this year.
I tell you, on in alternate NBA news, the Dallas Mavericks are not going anywhere.
No, they're going to be good.
They got Klay Thompson.
Indeed.
Yep. That's a big steal right there.
They're
After
not going
11
anywhere.
years in the league, he's still very,
He
very
can
valid.
shoot. He'll be able to shoot until he retires. That guy can shoot.
Look at their lineup.
Yeah.
It's
Their lineup's
disgusting.
impossible now. I mean, it's impossible.
They got pissed off. They didn't just get beat. They got almost embarrassed by the Celtics.
They did.
It was almost, embarrassingly, but the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final, I was corrected. It's not Stanley Cup Finals. It's the Stanley Cup Final, which makes a whole fuckload of sense, but it's hockey, so, them being on at the same time, I thought the NHL, won that one, because, as previously stated, I thought watching grass grow was more exciting than watching the NBA Finals.
I did not enjoy the final.
I didn't watch. I don't think I watched an entire NBA basketball game or NHL game at all this year. That's sacrilege too, because the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup final. So, yeah. Has there been anybody come out with video about the crazy stuff they're doing with the Stanley Cup this year?
Yes, I saw one of them take it to an Italian restaurant and eat pasta out of it. That was awesome. Usually you see them like drink a beer out of it or whatever, but yeah, that's the craziest one that I saw. They just had their parade in Miami down A1A on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, and I wonder how many people got shot there.
Oof. I don't. Yeah. Is that a rough spot? I've never been down there to A1A in
Well,
Miami.
it's South Beach, you know, so
Okay.
it's the big entertainment district, you know, so they want to, you know, they actually play where the Heat used to play, which is technically Fort Lauderdale,
Oh,
you know, and they play in the Heat's old stadium,
gotcha.
you know, but they call it the Pan. But anyhow, the Lightning are pissed over Tampa, you know how everybody knows how I feel about Tampa. I think it's the best city of Florida, and it's way better than that fuck stain Orlando. You know, but you know, I fucking hate that place. You know, but the Lightning got pissed, so they're like trading all kinds of people, you know, and bringing in players. They're not gonna lose to the in-state rivals again.
What are your guys' thoughts on all-star games? Because we're getting ready to have the Olympics, which is essentially the best of the best, all coming together for one country, their country, and putting on their colors. But I mean, I saw an article recently about how all all-star games in all sports have lost their luster.
Did anybody catch the clips from the NBA All-Star game this year?
I may have. That is, I can't decide which is more of a farce: the NBA All-Star Game or the Pro Bowl.
Oh, yeah, the Pro Bowl is like flag football
It's
now,
flag
isn't it?
football. Well, yeah, but they
Right,
didn't do this
right.
last year, I don't think.
And they have like games now. They like play dodgeball and shit.
And I almost understand because of the possibility and risk of injury in all sports, whether it be soccer, baseball, football, any of them is a real thing. But as far as games go, when it comes to the pros, the All-Star game for baseball still has a little bit of flash for me. I
Yep.
love the home run derby. I
Yeah.
love that. Football is trash. The NFL's All-Star game is trash. Hockey's All-Star game is awesome.
They have other skills competitions, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, football is trash. The Pro Bowl is a joke. And I mean, I'm glad that baseball went away from whoever wins gets to be home team for the World Series or whatever that was. But it's like,
Don't they play for money now?
oh, they
Well,
always played for money.
Yeah, they get a bonus if they.
No, the winners get
Yeah,
like
the winners
$1
get
million.
the winners get a. No, you're thinking of the home run derby. The winner of the home
Oh.
run derby gets $1 million.
Correct.
You know, but the players, if they make the All-Star team, they get a bonus, and if they win the All-Star game, they get a bonus.
Okay.
See, the
Yeah.
NBA must have something different going on because, look, no, I mean, if you listen to our podcast, you'll know that I am not a huge Luka Doncic fan. He is a really good player. I mean, really good. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. But the highlights from him from the NBA All-Star game, he was throwing up like full court shots off the top of the backboard, not even, in the middle of the game. Not like at the end of a quarter or at the end of a shot clock. He's just, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to throw it up there, see what happens. I don't care. And like, that never would have happened 15 years ago. That's not something that would have happened during the Kobe Bryant era. No way. He would have slapped somebody. But like now it's devolved into this, like, there's no defense. Now, granted, when Kobe was playing, there wasn't any defense either, but they still tried to win. Right?
Yeah.
They still tried to be a little bit serious. Now it's nothing. They don't try to do anything. They don't try to do anything. I mean, it's just I was just watching that, and Doncic threw the ball off the top of the backboard like he was trying to do something, show off, to show off, but he ended up throwing it off the top of the backboard and went out of bounds. And you're like, come on, this ain't basketball anymore. Who watches the game? I mean, like, I used to tune in and watch the game. Like, I used to watch the game, like seriously watch the game, but you were tuning in to watch the best basketball players play against each other. It was like watching the dream team practice. They would actually try. And then, yeah, I'm kind of with you. The NFL, they're granted, it's a much more contact sport and people can get injured a lot easier. So that extra All-Star game for the NFL, I can see why they kind of went away from it. But for me, I would just at this juncture for those two sports at least, they might as well just get rid of it. Just the dunk contest is still awesome. I still like watching the dunk contest.
3-point.
And the 3-point competition is still fun to watch, but they should just give those guys a weekend off or a week off and just.
I did think it was cool with the 3-point when they brought in what's her face to face off against who was it, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That'll be Caitlin Clark this year.
Sure.
But talking about the NFL Pro Bowl, 20 years ago, the Pro Bowl was played 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. It wasn't played in between. It was played 2 weeks after. So, and I had always thought when they play it in between, the 2-week time period in between the AFC and NFC Championship games and the Super Bowl that week, when you do that, you're not getting any of the stars that are playing in the Super Bowl because they're not going to risk injury to play. So playing it 2 weeks after, you remember everybody went to Hawaii. It was like a trip. It was kind of like a reward. Hey, these are multimillionaires, but hey, a week in Hawaii is a week in Hawaii, and everybody went to Hawaii. And this is back, I remember 20 years ago, and it's a Jaguar, but the MVP of the game was Mark Brunell, who went off in that game. So, they wore their regular helmets, but they all wore red or blue. And they played in the I believe they're still called the Rainbows at that time. Hawaii's
They were never called the Rainbows.
Stadium. Okay, well, Rainbow
They
Stadium.
were called the Warriors.
They're the Warriors. Sorry.
Yeah. And they played in Warrior Stadium, Warrior Field.
Didn't they have a rainbow in their helmet though?
Absolutely, they
Okay.
sure did. The Rainbow Warriors is what a lot of people called them.
Gotcha. And but that was you had all the best players
Absolutely.
there and no one opted out or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, we could get into fucking talking about opting out for another fucking half hour. I get so fucking fired up by that bullshit in college. But I do want before I forget, I do want as the ranking member of the SEC fan base to officially welcome the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns to the SEC as of the 1st of July.
Oof.
Yeah. The media days were over the weekend, weren't they?
I think they're this weekend actually.
Okay.
They're always in Birmingham.
Boy, they threw some shade. You threw some shade at Lincoln Riley this week. Oh my gosh! Holy cow!
I didn't know that Lincoln Riley had Caleb Williams going to Oklahoma.
Yeah, that he had him for
he
was the coach
basically
for the
stole him.
And yeah, so Caleb Williams was there for his freshman season under Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley goes to USC and takes Caleb Williams with him. That's why it was such a big deal. And then their AD, their athletic director this week said said something about Lincoln Riley, threw some shade at him pretty bad about all the coaches that give a crap about Oklahoma. They're all here, and the other ones are gone. Everybody else is left, and for this is going to be an interesting year, Kev. That's all I can say. It's going to be just fun to watch and be part of, but I don't expect anything special out of. Now Texas, we know they're from last year they can play with these SEC teams, but Oklahoma, I don't think we played an SEC team last year, did we? I don't remember. I don't think so. So this will be an interesting year.
That it will be, and we'll preview the fuck out of it coming up, But I do want to ask you guys this real quick. Going back to kind of what we're talking about, All Stars. I just wanted to interject that before I forgot. But have you guys seen the roster of the men's basketball team
For
USA?
US?
For the U.S.?
Yeah.
I haven't even looked. No.
I'm concerned. I mean, it's stacked, but I'm concerned, and here's why I'm concerned. In the NBA draft, which I watch because I'm a fucking loser and I watch drafts, and the top two people, do you know what school they were taken from?
In the NBA draft?
In the NBA draft, the top two picks, number 1 and number 2. Do you know where were they taken from?
This
not
year.
in this country.
This year,
they're
correct.
not-
They were
not
from
here.
outside of the country.
They were from
Yes.
France. They were from France. France has got some ball players.
One of them's an Australian, but he moved to
True.
France.
That's true.
But there's a
There-
lot of
there
France
are-
is the place.
My point is, I think other countries are catching up with us.
100%. They
They've
have to.
already caught up with us. Yeah.
You know,
You would
so
think
I-
that that's
I'm
the way that it should be.
sure.
Yeah. It gained traction worldwide, and everybody. I mean, we're not the only place that can produce, the best basketball players in the world anymore. The thing is, and I've talked about this a little bit with soccer, is that in Europe and in other other countries or other continents, they've got this figured out a little bit better than they do here in the States. Is they pay their players early. Like, they can be professionals as early as someone wants to pay them.
Yep.
And because of that, the competition is greater earlier, which produces better talent later. And that's what they're starting to produce in basketball, which is why they're ahead in soccer so much over the United States, is because they're producing athletes that are professional athletes much earlier than the United States has been. Now, football is pushing that envelope further down now, but it's been that way in the rest of the world forever with their sporting programs.
Well, also, if you look at basketball, originated in Canada. And
What
yes,
are you talking about?
basketball.
No, it didn't.
Look it up.
Okay, it's James
I got-
Naismith. He
I got
created
it.
Naismith, I know
White.
who it is, but I want to say Canada.
No,
And then look it up. I could be wrong. I'm not. I don't. That would be a weird
Actually,
thing for me to
now-
just drain
I
out
wonder-
of my brain.
I wonder if it was in Canada now. I know it was in the north. It wasn't in the
You guys
northeast
have
somewhere.
Google
All right.
right there at your fingertips.
Are you ready? I got it. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Stupid History Minute. I'm your host. Today we're talking about where the fuck was basketball invented. So, in the winter of 1891, when a 30-year-old physician education instructor from the International YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts,
which is where the Hall of
invented an indoor game that could be played between football and baseball seasons, basketball, originally 2 words, was born. That's the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, great.
almost, but it is almost.
Let's
almost
say
Canada. It is almost Canada, though.
So the game is whether, and I was like, oh, well, it's just like in, obviously, if it was Canada or, it's in the Northeast, it's a game that was created and cultivated and played majority by North America.
Right.
And
Sure.
And the same thing with soccer, like you were saying, they've been playing football, soccer, as we call it over here, forever. And it's the reason why the USA, we have a cricket team and we have a cricket
They're
league,
good now.
and-
They're good.
but they are well behind
Yep.
India and
Yep.
Egypt and all the other countries that are, superpowers in the cricket world, which is a game I still don't understand. But it's when I look at the way that the rest of the world in 1994, when the Dream Team, came about, there was less than 20% international players in the NBA on NBA rosters. Do you have any idea what that percentage is now?
Oh, it's got to be. It could. Oh my word!
It's over.
It's got to be
It's like
50%.
51%.
Yeah.
Is like the most reasonable number I could find, because some of these people are from Germany and then they came to whatever, military bases and other things. But it's changed so much. The rest of the world's caught on. I mean, they're like, oh my gosh, these guys are superstars that came from our country. And, China and other places have just become, big into basketball. And it's not going to happen with the sport of American football. That's for sure. Look at baseball. Baseball, baseball is a total worldwide sport now, like soccer.
Yeah.
Everybody, especially, I don't want to say baseball is bigger in some foreign countries, not to us, but in their country. America loves baseball. It's America's pastime, all this stuff. But like in Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, these places that are
Venezuela.
big
baseball
time, man.
is life there. It's
Yep.
everything in those countries, and they have year-round leagues. I mean, it's
It's like football in the South. Maybe worse even. Maybe worse.
A lot of the Venezuelan players go and play in the winter in Venezuela, and they have, the dare I say, the Caribbean, World Series, and play there in Mexico. I mean, Trevor Bauer's playing in Mexico right now.
he was in Japan, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's playing in Mexico now. I'll tell you this: you want a fun TikTok to watch?
That's the one.
Look up
I have him on
Trevor
there.
Bauer.
Yeah.
Look him up. He has figured out that app.
Yes.
And especially if you're a baseball fan.
Well, speaking of baseball, Little League World Series, I think everybody tunes in for that every summer.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like we all know
watched
that it's there, and there's always highlights on ESPN. Yeah, I mean, baseball. Yeah, man. And I don't.
It's actually the biggest sport that ever comes to Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, Omaha hosts the College World Series, right?
Serious? Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, so it's pretty. I find that pretty cool that it goes to the heart of the, like, basically the heart of the country of the United States. But the United States, I don't know how that we really win the entire thing that often. Other countries seem to win it a lot.
Well, the
So
only thing
it's-
that's wild is that the way they set it up is there's always going to be a team from the United States in the Final
yeah.
Four, regardless. The way that they set up the brackets, the international teams aren't that lucky.
It's kind of rigged. Yeah.
A little bit, but I mean, there have been years when they didn't. A team from the United States didn't get in, but
Well, it's still on TV. They still need the ratings, and
Absolutely.
I don't think Italy versus Portugal is going to bring you the ratings, much like USA versus England.
100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of sports, and since we're coming
A
up on
sports
the
show?
fourth of the 4th of July tradition, the
This is
hot
bullshit,
dog-
by the way. This is bullshit.
the eating of the hot dogs, Nathan's hot dogs eating contest. The guy who's been winning like every single year for the last decade, they disqualified him and said he can't participate this year.
Oh, Kobayashi?
No,
Or no,
Joey
uh,
Chestnut.
Joey
Joey
Chestnut.
Chestnut, yeah.
And the reason that they said he couldn't compete, I don't even know why. Like, it doesn't make sense as to why they would not allow their poster boy to compete in their biggest contest of the year. But he's out on some technicality of contracts or something like that. I don't know, but
He's representing a brand that is a competitor to Nathan's.
Okay.
okay.
So I think what you have here is
Oscar
kind of
Mayer?
yeah, right. My baloney has a first name. I think what you have here is a live golf first PGA Tour kind of deal, and so
That would
but
be a good all-star game.
I did hear that
Totally agree.
I did hear that Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut were going to do like a charity, like
Eat off.
like head to head, yeah, which would be awesome.
Ooh.
If they had that on TV, everybody would tune into that and
Sure.
I mean, like, seriously, if they put that on TV, everybody would watch that instead, because that was it. I mean, like, when those two guys were going at it, and Kobayashi, like, you seen that 30 for 30?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Where they won't even let him on site anymore.
yeah.
I don't know how he managed to be, how do you get thrown out of Nathan's hot dog eating
Competitive eating.
I mean, like, what do you got to do? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even do anything, if I remember right. All he did was show up and protest. And they're like, nope, you're not ever coming back forever. I'm like, okay. But anyway, that's coming up. 4th of July is coming up. And that's what I always think of and also the All-Star game, the Major League Baseball All-Star games on its way. So I'll be watching the Home Run Derby, like Jay had alluded to earlier. But, like, yeah, that's something I always tune in on the 4th of July. We watch the hot dog eating contest. It's not, I mean, do you guys consider that a sport? Is that like an obscure sport?
I don't know if I call it a sport. I would call it a competitive event.
Okay.
I'll
take
know
that.
they want to be considered athletes. And I guess they are training and they are working their body in a physical manner. It's just not what I consider
Athletic.
I compare it to somebody like, anybody in any of the, I guess, more physical sports.
Major
baseball,
sports, yeah.
football,
Right.
soccer, any of them.
Yeah. Well, fellas, we got anything more we want to talk about today?
No, I'm good. I do want to point out, like you guys alluded to, the baseball All-Star games coming up. We can talk more about that next week. When it's getting closer and closer here. But I think we hit it all, don't you?
Yeah, we did a pretty good job. I mean,
I'd like to send a shout out to St. Joe.
Yeah.
He's gone, but I mean, he's definitely a cog in the wheel of your show, and I appreciate him and you guys allow me to come in and not fill the shoes, but fill the space on the screen at least.
I didn't get to comment on your silver hair, but it is amazing. It gets more amazing every time I see it.
I do have something that I want to play for you really quick. Okay, I know we're up to our contractual obligated time here, but I do have something I want to play for you really quick. Now, what I'm about to play for you is ridiculous. It is deplorable. It's unacceptable, and I'm going to continue to fucking laugh at it because it might only be funny to me, but I think it's fucking hilarious. So I'm going to play this for you. I shared it with Beebs. Not really sure if he heard it or not because I didn't get any fucking reaction, but that's not really anything new. So I'm going to play this for you really quick. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's like fucking 3 minutes long. But I'm just going to let it go through the refrain the first time. But this is a world premiere here, and very few people have heard it. So I'm just going to listen to it. Here we go.
Everyday things here that tell the tale. How's that old toaster? It never fails. From paper clips to bubble gum, learn about where it all comes from. It's crazy fun facts about the mundane. Got your earbuds in while you ride the train. This podcast sweet with every listen. Tune in now, don't wanna miss it. Oh, it's the stupid history minute. Yeah, past and present day intertwined. It's the most enjoyable show out there. History in every line.
Okay, that's it.
Now, is that an AI generated?
It is.
Song?
It is.
I love it. I love it.
I put in, basically, I took the bio from the Stupid History Minute and put that into this program that another podcaster, and shout out to Richard over at Street Curb Curiosity for turning me on to it. And he did one for his, and I was like, oh, that's snappy. Let's just see what they put out. And I was just like, that's fucking perfect.
It's cool, man. That's very cool,
Yeah.
actually. That's really cool.
I did listen to it, Kev. I just never responded because by the time I had listened to it, I was like, oh, it's been like 4 hours since he sent it to me. I respond now. He's going to think that I'm...
If that old show that I used to be part of was still on the air, I can't imagine what kind of song would come out if I put some of those in there. It would be pornographic.
But I sent it to St. Joe, and St. Joe's like, what program you use? So you could willing to bet that you're going to get a Nailed It theme song,
I love it.
sooner or later. Yeah.
He's all about being, original. He doesn't like to regurgitate. Whale dicks. Hot dogs like water.
We're gonna get a text every time we do this. We're gonna get a text that says, "You three can go fuck yourselves."
You're gonna get the middle finger text message. That's what we get.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a classic.
Yeah.
We should call him right now. It's only like 3 a.m. over there.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, I'm sure Mrs. St. Joe would appreciate that.
Shoot, they're probably
but
still out on the town.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything cool going on Finding Your Way Thursday?
Yeah,
No?
actually, this week we have an interview. We have new
Ooh,
content. Kev.
dude,
We're
new
starting
content. And I believe, for those of you listening to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts on Wednesdays, you heard a brand new Finding Your Way trailer at the
Yes.
beginning of this episode.
Yep.
And that was fine and dandy. Hope everybody enjoyed that. So,
Yeah, starting a new series, but
That's good.
The interview will kick it off for sure.
That's good. So they don't just have to listen to find out.
No. So John from the Movie Lovers Unite podcast came on, and he shared some pretty cool information, stuff about himself on my show. He was very open and honest, so it will be a pretty good interview to tune into.
That's good. I'm looking forward to it. And that's coming out July 4th.
Yeah, that's Thursday, right?
So.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, you got anything going on?
I do not.
No?
He's going golfing
Just
at
the
some
way
point.
I want it.
No?
I will be golfing. Yes, that's
Okay.
an everyday occurrence almost. So
Okay, you going golfing on the 4th?
I am.
Yeah, cool.
Where are you going?
Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. No Saturday, but Sunday. So I play a little golf.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Shout out to Mike if he's listening.
Yeah, Thiz.
Yeah.
Good thoughts and feelings with him and his family.
Absolutely.
I know
Definitely.
he's going through a lot and dealing with a lot, and I know some people may wonder, what's going on with these guys? Well, life ain't just always the podcasts and the shows and stuff, and we love doing all that stuff, but life really is what matters, and relationships and family is what is more important than anything to most. I can almost say every one of us on these shows, and it always has been, and it always will be. So I love you, Mike, and your whole crew, and I know I'm sure I can speak for all of us. We're thinking about you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And to sum that all up, for those of you that are wondering, just mind your own fucking business. Yeah, just if they want to come out and tell you, they'll come out and tell you. Otherwise, go fuck yourself. So, yeah, that's Keb Lives, KEBLIVES.
Hashtag GFY.
Yes. So we hope everybody has a fun and safe 4th of July. And if something looks like a lit firecracker, don't pick it up. But for St. Joe, who is abroad, for Mr. J. Jones, who is so gracious to join us, for the Beebs, my name is Keb. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.